Hello Pioneers, in the last episode of our MEGAFACTORY build series, we streamlined aluminum production by using the instant scrap recipe, cutting down complexity. This episode, we take the next step, processing aluminum scrap into ingots and refining those into sheets and casing. To make it work, we need to design a brand new assembler tower blueprint. Can we create an efficient and scalable production line? Let's find out. With 2 belts of aluminum scrap ready to go, we can now start working on refining it. And how are we going to refine it, you may ask? Well, we have 2 recipes. We can do it the foundry way, which is more efficient on the scrap. It converts 6 to 4, which is a 3 to 2 ratio. Or we can do it the easy way using a smelter, which just does a 2 to 1 ratio. That's the one that we've planned for. That's why we've made 2 full Mark 6 belts of scrap, so that we can get 1 full Mark 6 belt of aluminum ingot out. And I'm going to go with that one. And where we're going to build it is over here. So we're going to build a smelting tower the way we normally build a smelting tower, same as these smelting towers over here. We've got all the blueprints to do that. So I'm going to quickly set that up. And when that's done, we will continue on. All right, I've done all the boring stuff. So our building is in. It's 2 stories high because we need 20 smelters on each floor to process all the aluminum. So each one can process 60, and these stacks of 10 can process 600. So 2 stacks of 10 give you our full 1200. And output, it will be a half belt, right? So then we'll merge the output to make it a full belt of aluminum ingot. Or maybe we won't, because we'll probably split half to make casing and half to make outclad sheets. But either way, 2 floors. I put everything in, all the lights and stuff like that, the doorways and the machines, of course. So we'll do the rest together. The first thing that we're going to need to figure out is where we're going to get power from. I'm thinking we cross the station. Oh, they're both stations, so I can guess we can cross either way here. Guess we just get power from here then. Where is our center point? It's kind of like directly above here, but a little bit offset. And I suppose it's coming out here. And then to make it sort of not awkward, let's just put that in the center. We'll get that across. And that center line is probably this line over here. And in terms of height, let's get that going straight so that it doesn't look as bad. Kind of crosses the train, doesn't it? But, it's fine. Now we can get that into the building. Let's see where the best place to do that is. Oh yeah, I haven't talked about the fitting of this building into this predefined block. Check it out. 2 tiles here. 2 tiles here. Somehow when I measured this out without measuring, I think I arbitrarily did this. I wouldn't say arbitrarily. I think I did 2 blocks. Yeah, it makes sense that it would fit perfectly because I did 2 blueprints worth. So then it fit perfectly here without measuring, which I thought was luck. But I guess because I'm following my blueprints, it worked out perfectly. And we have perfect clearance against this giant rock. This rock will now be a decoration part of our factory. I wish we could build like a park here or something like that so people can come around here when they're finished working at their factories and just chill at the park. But I don't think there's anything that we can make a park out of. And I think I've cut down too many trees here, unfortunately. Anyway, we're digressing a little bit. Power is what we're trying to do. If it's going to come through here, we can just get power directly from here, right? All right, let's just do that then. Oh, we shouldn't do that. We'll get it properly into the building, something like that, and then we'll bring it out accordingly into one of these sides. And then we'll bring it up here. Forget where we normally bring power up to, whether we bring it up to the roof like this or whether we bring it somewhere else, but it doesn't really matter. We'll bring the power across and then we'll do the same thing upstairs. This looks like a straight line, right? All right, cool. Like right in the center of that window, like above here, in theory. And we'll get that in. We need to cross the power to the other side as well. So let me quickly do that. Wait, is there a better point to do this? Over here. There we go. Now everything should have power. Do the same thing on the floor below. Go from here over to here. Fantastic. We have power now. We need to get the materials next. So the input is over here. I purposely did the input on this side. So we need to basically get 2 belts in here somehow. Let's have a look at how that might work. If we get it through here, for example, where do we normally get it through here? There's no pretty standard way to do this. So let's just do it through this window. We'll get a conveyor wall going. But then this window is a little bit annoying, isn't it? Because it's not going to go out onto the edge. Let's put that back. Can I get it through here? I think this is where we normally do it. It's a little bit more difficult, but I think it's worth doing. So we do a double conveyor wall like this, and then we just bring it through here, I believe, is how we normally do this. And then we remove that pillar. Yeah, I remember now. Let's try to keep consistent then. Get a belt coming through here. Make sure it's coming the right way. Then we bring this down to the right height, which is around here, I believe. And then we bring a belt in. Perfect. Now we can sort it out from the outside. Now we can just cross it over the train track if we want to, but I think it's better served we do this underground. So we'll go into the ground. Now let's remove this because there's going to be 2 of these. Now I'm just going to do this like this. It's going to be a little bit awkward. It's going to clip into the wall, but that's fine. Does this reach the floor? Yeah, it does. So we're going to do 1 belt here, 1 belt here, and then we're just going to do this. Make sure that goes the right way. Input goes this way, and then we've got a nice little conveyor lift as decoration. Fantastic. I mean, this one is going to be a little bit awkward in that I'm going to do this. I'm just going to get this belt to go around this block. It's going to clip, but we don't care about that. Tuck it in like that, and then we're just going to go in here, and we're going to drag a belt from here to here, and we'll even make it straight. It's going to go through here, but no one can see that. If you can't see it, it's not a problem. Then we're just going to bring that down the same way we did before, and straight into here. Too steep. There we go. Nice and flat. We should probably finish the belt off because it's not actually going to both sides of the machine. Just like that on the first level as well. Now we've got to go sort out the actual output from our scrap factory that we built last episode. Now, this scrap factory needs to come out in 2 areas, right? So each one is producing 300. So 4 of these machines link together. So I'm going to start building these things. Now, do we build them inwards or outwards? I suppose if we build them outwards, it doesn't really matter, does it? Merge all the output. That one can go this way. They can all go this way. And so we'll get all our lifts in, and then we'll get our mergers in. Yes, I know, I can see there's a little bit of clipping on my pipe, but meh. Good enough. We'll get our belts in, 3, 4. And we'll get our belts in here. Now, we probably want the output of this one a little bit differently. I really should empty my inventory too. Got too much crap before we start generating random scrap boxes everywhere. So we want this one maybe to turn a different way. That way we can get it maybe into the floor here. Oh, that just barely fits. So we'll get it into the floor. And we'll turn it that way. And we can actually get it both into the floor here. Or we should probably get it over here. Alright, let's just do a floor hole here then. There we go. That way they don't align and we can drag the belts out. So they're in the subfloor now. Let's head over to the subfloor and go sort them out. My nearest subfloor access is through this tunnel, which makes a lot of sense. So here's my 2 belts. They've got a nice clear path along the ceiling over to here. And this is where I want the input to be done. Or just barely clips through this. I don't mind that too much. So we'll do something like this. Definitely bring this down somewhere. And then we'll bring this one down as well. Something like this. Now let's bring these across. Our goal with the subfloor is to keep things as neat and organized as long as possible. But when it comes to clipping, we're not going to spend too much time on it. Because the whole point of this subfloor and subfloors in general is that no one gets to see them. I wonder if you guys have ever gone into a factory and looked at someone's subfloor and been like, wow, this is a masterwork of belt management. Do you guys like to do cable management in real life, or are your computer setups like just a hot mess? Oh, something's coming to attack me. We got 1 belt here. We got 1 belt here. Let's just put them around here somewhere, and then we'll figure out which belt goes to which one. This one goes to this one. So that's there. We go back 1, 2, and then we go up. And then we connect these lovely things. And this one will go to this one, obviously. And then we go here, 1, 2. Then we go up and we connect that. There's our 2 belts of scrap into our lovely new refinery factory. Let's head back up and let's go check it out. I see green. We just got to wait for everything to slowly saturate, and it is starting to produce aluminum ingot. Fantastic. Now we're going to just quickly put in some lights. I'll be back when that's done. Now we're just going to quickly put in some lights, so I'll be back when that's all done. All right, let there be light. All the lights are in now. Fantastic. So next thing that we're going to do is figure out how to process this. So we're going to make ourselves a little aluminium processing facility. So we've got to figure out what we're going to do. I've looked at the Satisfactory website, and there's only 2 things that aluminum ingots are used for. Technically 3 things, but I don't know if we're going to use the 3rd thing. But aluminum sheet is only got 1 recipe, and then aluminum casing has 2 different recipes. We can make directly, or we can make it more efficiently in an assembler. And that's also made in an assembler. So if we bring the copper, we can make more of this stuff, and I think we have spare copper. So let's work out what we can do with this. So the maths works out pretty simply with this. If we split our aluminum belt in half, we can use 20 assemblers here to make aluminum sheets, and we'll get 600 aluminum sheets out with a little bit of copper. The aluminum casing one's really interesting. Each assembler makes so many that we only need 4 assemblers to consume a full aluminum belt of stuff out, and we get nearly all of it back, and it's going to give us 450 casing. 450 casing and 600 aluminum sheet should satisfy most of our requirements for a while. So I think I'm definitely going to go with this. Otherwise, if we do this one, we get sort of like a 3-to-2, but it's a little bit easier to make, I guess. That's the trade-off. I'd rather a slightly higher ratio and consume some copper. The only reason I'm going for this one, because the ratio difference isn't massive. It's like 3-to-2, and this one is like 3-to-2 point something, right? So the only reason I'm going for this is because we're bringing the copper for the aluminum sheet anyway, so we might as well just use that same copper belt to build this factory. So we need to create ourselves a factory that's possibly extendable into the future, that can house a set of 20 assemblers for the sheets and a set of 4 assemblers for the casing. Now, can we possibly fit anything like that here? I don't even have a blueprint for assemblers, do I? We can do a very bespoke factory and try it. Like, we can give ourselves a challenge of trying to fit it between this rock. Why would I do this? Because I can't find a good use for this space, that's why. Anyway, let's see how many assemblers we can fit in here. I mean, it seems like say if we give 2 tiles of space, right? And we start it here, and then we start it here. How many can we fit here? Because assemblers are quite narrow, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yup. And then we can do the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 1 floor of assemblers. And then we can do 2 floors of assemblers for the thing, and then 1 floor of assemblers for the 4 assemblers we need for casing. I don't know why I'm doing it here, but that seems to fit perfectly fine. I mean, we're going to be flush against this rock probably. The only thing that doesn't fit fine is kind of the belting, I guess. But we can do something interesting for that as well. Let's see what the minimum requirement for a merger is. Or like half a tile? Oh man, it's just the outside wall that's going to be a problem. Otherwise, we wouldn't have an issue. Damn. It's going to be a tight squeeze. Because once I put the walls on either side, it's going to be terrible, right? Can I fit 10 assemblers here? 1, 2, 3, and then we'll have issues on that wall. Either way, it's going to be a really awkward squeeze of a building. Maybe not. Maybe not. I mean, technically we could build it into the rock, but then the rock will be half coming out of the wall of our factory, which I don't like that either. We could do it 1 tile off the road, and the wall can be along here. No, that won't even work. Alright, screw this idea. Carve out a new area for this factory, otherwise we're going to be here forever. Where factory though? Oh, you know what we can use for this area? We can use this as like a parking lot for the actual building. Oh, Can we do subfloor around this rock? I guess we can do subfloor around this rock. Why is there so much radiation here? It's all these damn rocks. Holy moly. It's going to take a while to mine all these out. We can't blow them up, can we? Nope. Can't blow up radiation rocks. That's fine. Whatever. Radiation's not going to hurt us. Alright, we'll do it on this side then. And then we'll just pump the aluminum through here. It's a bit of a bigger travel distance, but the good thing is then what we can do is turn this area into a parking lot for our aluminum factory, and then we can go from there. So let's get some subfloor going. Our aluminum factory is going to be a teensy bit radioactive, but hey, no one's going to complain working in there. We'll just pay them like hazard pay, you know, give them time and a half wages to work in this highly radioactive building. Now let's put down some flooring for this. So our base flooring is in. We need to sketch out our building now. Let me quickly do that. So let's start sketching out where our factory is going to begin. So we'll give it a 2x2 start over here. Now the road is here. So basically that's the end of the factory. Let's extend this road out a little bit. Now we can fit our assemblers in here. We know we can fit our assemblers in here. Let's just see what kind of length we need. The center point for the assemblers is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, so it's 8 tiles, so it's like right here. We need to leave one gap of space for belt work. And then we need to leave at least one tile of space in the middle for our assembler things. We'll try to keep it... is that too much space in the middle for a merger? That's fine. And then one tile of space for belt things, and our wall will end over here. So there's our basic factory. We can do something cool with this. Let's, I don't know, we'll just design something on the fly, shall we? Kind of like the use of something different. Let's try some stuff. What if we replace these with down corner ramps? I mean, that's cool, but then what do we do from here? I suppose that would just then be diagonals to the halfway point. Like that. Wait, that's not right. We'll be up to there. How tall is our building going to be? 1, 2, 3, 4. And then a subfloor. So it's going to be one higher. So we need something in here. Let me replace this with our down corner ramp, and then we can see what kind of wall we can build with this. How do we build up from here? Is the question. There's like an inverted version of the up corner ramp, inverted down corner. That's the only thing that can go onto this thing, and it won't let me put it onto this thing. Hilarious. All right, let's figure out the corner later, and let's just continue the framing using these weird diagonals. Maybe something cool will happen. Get it to the halfway point. Now we do need to flatten the roof at some point. We can't just have this weird inverted roof. So we'll get the rest of the frame in, and then we'll see where we go from there. This is a really cool frame. I wonder how I can turn this into a building. I really like this frame. The challenge of turning this a weird diagonal frame into some sort of building. Now I suppose we need to flatten out underneath here. So let's just use 1 meter foundations. Or 2 meter foundations maybe. I think 1 meter foundations is really annoying to work with. So let's go, I'm going with the 2 meter foundation, I think. So now we've got a box of a building. Fantastic. I'm going to validate that this fits 2 more assemblers and still has a little bit of breathing room. Yep. Okay. We've got the right size for the building. Now we need to get the height right for this. So here is the correct height. We want to flatten out the roof. So let's just do that. It won't let me zoom out that way, but we can zoom out this way. So we'll get the roof in. The reason is because we need 2 of these, right? There's only 10 on each level. So we need 2 levels of this. So we do need to flatten this at some point. And this level is actually a subfloor. So we got how many levels up? 1, 2, 3, 4 levels up. Wait, is this the right height? Let me just verify this because my foundations are really weird. 1, 2, 3, 4 levels. Yeah, so 4 level height building, which is good. and then one level for subfloor. So actually, this level is actually a subfloor. Let me just sketch that out. We should probably put the subfloor using 1 meter foundations. Actually, then shouldn't all of this top level be 1 meter foundation? Let me redo that with 1 meter foundations. Okay. Now this is the subfloor, right? So we just sketch in the subfloor. Why isn't this lined up? What have I done? There we go. The subfloor is in. Feels like a very cramped subfloor, but I think that is still correct. 8 meter double ramp. Ah, did I do this in the wrong spot? Is my subfloor halved? Oh my god, I'm gonna have to like... I just need a tower here to tell me 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the main building. And then that's the roof. No, that is correct. Right? It's like here and here. Because normally we would put a floor here and then we would put a floor here. I think this one is too high, right? Because normally you'd put floors here, which is the correct roof level. I think this one's 1 too high. We can verify this using a conveyor hole. That's fine. Nope, that's correct. And then, is it this one that's wrong then? Yeah, something's wrong with this subfloor. Yeah, it's 1 off, see? We can see it. The conveyor lift doesn't like that. Let me fix that up then. So it should go here. That's the roof. I'm just gonna sketch in the entire roof, why not? Because we need it, right? Alright, now with the roof in, we can kind of see what our building looks like. And yeah, it kind of looks cool, right? I don't mind that. Now we can fill in the rest of the building. Let's see what we can use. Now, does a wall fit into here? We can't do a diagonal wall onto this thing. It wouldn't fit anyway. Okay, that's fine. So we've got to figure out how to seal this up properly. I think one of the only ways we're going to be able to seal this is using beams, right? Let's try it. So we'll use big metal pillars, do you reckon, or small metal pillars? So we can put big metal pillars along here. Do it from the roof down. Oh, this is going to look cool, isn't it? So we're going to squeeze one more in here, like that. Yeah, that kind of looks cool. And it's an aluminum factory. You guys get it? So it looks kind of like aluminum. Yeah, that's a cool little edge. I'm almost tempted also to do this in black. I mean, sorry, do this, leave it in gray, because aluminum. There we go. We build it from the roof down. It makes it very easy to deal with. That's a cool looking corner. I like that. And now we can do glass here. Like regular window glass. Like this. I mean, it sticks out a little bit out here, but so be it. Oh no, it sticks out a little bit here. Why does it do that? Normal. Oh, right. I know why it does that. Silly. Because you can't build glass on a 2-meter foundation like that. That's just silly. We'd have to start it off from the top here. Like this. Oh, find the right spot. And then go in from here. Wait, is that a 1-meter foundation? Is that the top? You know what? I'm just going to start it from the bottom here. This is the correct way to do it. The glass should start from here. And then that way it won't stick out of anything. Because this is a 2-meter foundation, normally you have to build glass in accordance with 4-meter foundations. Unfortunately, this thing is going to stick out, but hey, a little bit is fine. Does this look terrible from inside the building? It's actually okay. It's just the Z fighting over here that's a little bit of a annoyance. We probably need to do this slightly differently. Let me just figure that out. Unfortunately, we might need to use the small metal pillars. Oh, this is going to be so much more annoying to build. But we basically want it at the halfway point, right? Let me try with the big metal pillars at the halfway point. So we need to build it from here and down. Yeah, it does stick out through there a little bit. Is there a different way we can build this? Like this way maybe? It still sticks through. You can get it to come up and meet it. And then we can delete that. Oh, that's a very, very hacky way to build that. But it works. It's a super annoying method of building, but it works. And there's no more Z fighting on this side. Let me just see if I can close that up, because we don't even know if we can close this up yet. So it's over here. Align that to here. So we build down. That one is fine. But then the second one, it clips through. If I do one more, it clips through. But if we build it from the bottom up, it's fine. Like that. And then we get rid of this bottom one. Okay, so it definitely works. Now, how do we seal this? Just like that, I guess. And then there's like a little indent, but that looks even better, I think, rather than being flat. Alternatively, we can turn the pillar like this. That looks cool. Maybe we can do 2 and do a really clean turn. Like this. And here. Oh, that looks clean. What? There's a little bit of a gap in here, but we can remedy that. Like this. With a third pillar. Or we can do something different in here. Alright. I think this is basically what we're going to go with. Let me just count how many tiles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can build this in a blueprint. Because we need to build another level of this stuff. So we've learned from our last time that we should probably build this in a blueprint. If we proof of concept something that works really well, we should probably blueprint it to make it easier to build. I'm going to do that. We're going to need 2 equal and opposite sets of blueprints. Unless we make the building a perfect square, which also is a thing. Oh, we could just make the building a perfect square. Yeah, and then we just need 1 blueprint for the corner. That works out amazingly. All right, I'm going to make a blueprint for this and I'll be back. All right, guys, check it out. I've almost got the building in the way I want it now, but I just got to figure out how to get these signs in. So I've been looking at one of the suggestions my commenters gave me. Now, the problem is you can't put signs at the right angle here for some reason. Like like even if you use the control, right, and put the signs, it's not actually aligned perfectly, and there's no way to align signs here like this. It's so annoying. It's so weird that it can't just be 45 degrees. Like there's no alignment for 45 degrees. This is the closest, and you can see it's not aligned against the foundation. So to fix this, I've done it here. See how this one is perfectly aligned. It was from one of my commenters suggesting I go check out a video by Dan P, who built this crazy looking thing. It looks awesome, by the way. But anyway, that's a little bit beyond my abilities. But what I can do is get the signs working. So what we have to do is get a temporary pillar over here. Then we can use these foundations, which will give us the perfect snapping point for a sign. So we just put 1 here. Now we can temporarily just get rid of this. Now when we put in a sign, it should perfectly align to this, right? And I'm just going to shift this a little bit off center because I don't want it centered. But we can see this is the perfect angle for the sign. Trying to get it in the center though. One of these is the center. We'll figure it out. But once we've got the snapping point for the sign, we can delete all of this stuff and put back everything else. It's a bit of a pain to build, and the only reason I'm doing it is because I'm in blueprint mode, so we only have to do it once. If I had to do this more than once, I probably would just be like, no, don't worry about it. For the finish, I've just gone with Caterium. It looks like a slightly different color to everything else, which I like. I think this is the center point of my signs, I believe, or is it 1 lower? Hard to tell sometimes. Yeah, there's the center point, so we want that sign. And I offset it so that it can join with the signs down here nicely like this. So yeah, that's how we did it, and we're gonna set it up the same way we've done on this wall, and then we can start using this building. Alright, I've finished the blueprint and I've saved it. Is there anything else I want to change with this? I'm just wondering. What if we do something cool on this corner? Always trying cool stuff. I don't know why. Why am I doing this? I just feel like it needs a little bit of like that other pattern that we normally do. Oh, but I can't get that in there properly. Oh, that would be pretty... Oh, damn it. I didn't click it. Gotta click the billboard twice. Use a little bit of a control to do a little mini snap. What if we did that? That does look really cool. Now I can't, there's gonna be an overhang, right? Because I can't get rid of this. Can I? Or can I? No, I can't get rid of that tile. So there's gonna be a little bit of an overhang, which is fine because the top tile on top is gonna go like this. So an overhang is kind of fine. But we'll just chuck in a little billboard over here. That way we get a little bit of interestingness over here. Why am I doing like when I'm in blueprint mode, I just like to do cool stuff because I know I only have to do it once, so I don't mind it. Maybe we can get some painted pillars to make this corner a little bit more interesting. Can't turn the pillars, but we can just put them in. Goes here, I guess. Trying to figure out where these ones go. And put one in the center, one over here, and one over here. Kind of makes the corner a little bit more visually interesting to look at, I guess. Do we like this? I don't mind this. Can we like hide this painted thing with a painted beam? Oh, that would be cool. Pretty much can hide all this gap with 3 painted beams. What do we think of that? Why doesn't this one go on top? What's different between here and here? Oh, there we go. That top bit needs to overhang a little bit just because this is going to go on top of it, right? So either way, there's going to be a thing here. But yeah, that kind of looks cool. I like that. All right, cool. Let's save that design. It's so annoying how to save stuff in here. Come on, save it over my original one. Yes, please. Thank you. Anyway, I've cleared this area. Let's chuck this in and see how that looks. Might be a little bit crazy. Anything else we want to change before we go? I think we're okay with this. Let's just go with this. It's good enough. Sometimes we just got to remember that I am a data engineer, not a UI designer. So not everything I design is going to be amazing looking. Sometimes good enough is just going to have to be good enough. But with these corners, it makes this thing relatively easy to build. For me, anyway. It's a little bit bigger than intended, and it's become nice and square and blocky. But I think that's a pretty cool assembler building. And we can use this as a default template for future assembler buildings as well, if we want to. Oh yeah, that looks cool. It's a little bit too lit up for my liking, but that's fine. I like it. I like it a lot. And we can now very easily put in a second level because we do need a second level for this. I'm just going to copy this in blueprint mode. Should be really easy to chuck in now. Let's see what it looks like as a 2-story building. Yeah, I like it. What do you think? Oh man. It looks really cool. It looks really cool. I really like this. Alright, cool. So we've got our building in. Let's get a doorway somewhere. Where would our doorway go? Let me get rid of this blueprint designer. Now, obviously, the doorway is not going to go on the train track side. So it's either going to be this side and that side, or we'll just make one doorway over this side. Can cut this one and this one. And then how big is our doorway going to be? Like that. Nice. And then how should we do our doorway? We can do a nice clean doorway just with pillars then. Like this. The least fancy doorway that we've ever done. Because there's so much lighting already, I don't feel like I want to add more lighting. I kind of just want an entranceway into the factory. Which this looks pretty nice and clean. Goes well with the windows. Oh man, this windows makes such an interesting shape as well. I really like this. And I like these little light beams that we've done. Cool. Alright, let's see if we've left enough room for all the assemblers and stuff. I don't see why not. Now the center of my floor is no longer here. So I gotta figure out where the center is and then put the assemblers accordingly. So do we have a pattern for assemblers? And should we make one? We have foundries, smelters, refineries, foundries, constructors, smelters, refineries. All right, let's make a blueprint for the assemblers, which we can probably use going forward. I was going to make my assembler buildings bespoke, but I don't think that's a good idea. We go with default assembler buildings, and then we'll make our manufacturer blender buildings bespoke. Because otherwise, trying to do one, like custom assembler building per building is going to be an absolute nightmare. So we will get our blueprint designer again. Why did I delete it? Get our blueprint designer in, and then we will shove as many assemblers as we can here. We should be able to do it, maybe. So we want to face it inwards and leave as much room as we can for the outside. So maybe like that. And like that leaves one tile of space. Yeah, that should be fine. How many can we fit? Oh, we can fit 5 assemblers into the blueprint. That's amazing. That means we can get the power bar and everything right into the blueprint, I think. Let's try it. Get our mergers in first. Get our mergers in this way. We'll link all of the mergers up. Saves us building this manually twice. Nice. Then we will get our lifts. Now our assembler lifts are going to be a little bit interesting. We'll just do one lift like this. Then we can get our splitters in. So we'll get it going, say, this way. Doesn't really matter which way we go. And then whatever way we go this way, we want to go the opposite this way so we can link them. It does matter which way we go because we don't want the output of the merger where we do it. So I'm going to reverse this actually. So we want it to go this way. That way when we link our belts, it'll be behind the mergers so they don't come out where the belts need to link. I can't put the belt link in here, but that's fine. Linking the belts is like the easiest thing to do in the world. They really need to get a bigger blueprint designer, I swear. This thing is too small. They don't really encourage making mega builds in this game. Like it's really, really tedious to make a big base. Now when you see people on YouTube that are doing their like base tours and they're absolutely massive, you can really, really appreciate just how much effort went into building a base like that. Like mine's relatively simple because I've gone with very modular designs, so I can just slap them down and just slowly add and build out our city. But you can tell the difference. Like my city's kind of really blocky looking and terrible, but those other builds, you can tell that they're all bespoke buildings and they've just put together everything manually, and it's crazy. So in theory, we should be able to put this up 1, 2, I think. And it just barely doesn't clip the belt. Oops. Let me just validate that theory. We'll get the splitters going the same way. I'm okay with that. It doesn't really clip the belt. Do the same thing on the other side. Get that going across. It's this way, right? I'm confused. Yeah, we want the input coming in here. No. Yes. Because it goes around this way. So confusing myself. Alright, yes. Output, input. Fantastic. And that's input, input. Alright, we've got it all done the right way. Now we just need to add a power bar. So we'll just do it straight smack bang in the center. And then wherever this comes out, it's going to go straight down, I guess. Oh, we can edit the power bar later anyway. We'll put it slightly under. Just like that. Checking our connectors. We'll hook up our power. We've literally used every single millimeter of this blueprint designer. Which is good, I guess. Get the power on the other side as well. They link on almost exactly the same spot, but not quite. So if we want to be perfect, we'd put another one like there. Oh, does this one have somewhere to go? Yep, nice. Right on the edge. That connected, yep. Fantastic. And there's an array of 10 assemblers, which is perfect because we need 20 for our thing. I'm going to save that blueprint. We'll select an assembler icon. Then we will select the directory for this and we'll put it over here. Assembler 10x, done. Save that blueprint and then off we go. Now, before I slap my assembler blueprint down, I want to get my flooring right for this. Also, how do we get into the second level? We got to delete the same stuff, right? And then create an entranceway. My question is, does this need to be black? It doesn't. Excellent. That means my whole floor can be coated concrete except where the assemblers go. Which means I probably want something similar to what we normally do, which is grip metal. So we'll do a row along the outside and then we'll do grip metal along the inside. So each one of these rooms can fit 10 assemblers, which is pretty good because if you consider the assemblers, generally you're not going to need more than 10 assemblers per whatever you're assembling, right? Like, what do we ever use more than 10 assemblers for? Maybe like reinforced iron plate, and then this factory can be just elevated. So it's pretty extendable. I think that's the main difference between what I'm building, is that I'm trying to build for extensibility and scalability more than anything else. So that's why we're not going to be able to get those crazy bespoke cool designs, because I don't know how big our mega factory is going to be one day, right? Like, are we going to go for, you know, 120 magnetic field generators per minute? That's going to be a completely different scale of factory to what we're building right now, right? Let me get this door in, and then we'll get our assemblers in. All right, I think we're all ready. We want the assembler 10x, get it out of blueprint mode, and then we're going to shove it down somewhere here, and it should fit neatly. I might want to offset it because of the belts, but it should be okay actually. Is there any particular direction I care about which way it goes? Do I care which way the input comes from? I guess it comes from here because the stuff is over there. So here is good enough. Let's try to center this. We know the center is right here, so that's fine. Let's put that there. And that centers it along here, and we should be able to fit a belt to wrap around there. I don't see any other way to put the assemblers, so I'm just going to put it here, and we're going to go upstairs and do the same thing. Very easy to place these ones. Like, literally fits perfectly in this room. Look at that. Beautiful. All right. Assemblers are now in. We can now set the recipe. So we want all of these to be assembling aluminum sheets or something. Yep, these things. So we'll copy that in. There we go. Do the same thing upstairs. Nice. Very easy. Now we can get this thing connected. So we want power to come from somewhere, and there's no real power anywhere. So I think we're going to have to jump across the station over here, which is fine. So let's go in here, grab the power, take it out of the wall. Probably like from here. Maybe here is okay. Yeah, we'll do it here. Chuck a double. That should have power now. I can't see the power cable, but I'm going to assume it has power. We'll find out shortly enough. Then we need to go across from here. So that's just along this line, up here, and it's going to go, say, here. Oh, there's nothing to snap to here. What? Like, this is the only snapping point I have. That's straight? That is straight. Is it straight height-wise? It is actually perfectly straight height-wise as well. All right, well, that's the snapping point, I guess. We'll go one across to make it perfectly straight. Yep, I think that's good enough. Let's go in and bring it into our building. I don't know where in our building we can even put this. The disadvantage of what I've done here is that there is no snapping point anywhere. So it'll have to be on this glass. And then we'll have to put it up onto this glass over here somewhere. I can do it in here, but then I'll never be able to access it again. So I'm going to do it here. And then we're just going to connect like this. That's fine. It's a little bit janky looking, but that's fine. Then we can get this going directly up. So it's in the center of the glass. So we can get that going up. Center of this glass right here should be exactly the same as before. And then we should be able to connect it like that. Everything is orange. Perfect. That means all we need to do is now get the input for this. So let's work on the input. So our stuff comes out here and here. So here and they're directly on top of one another. So somewhere here we need to put some floor holes. Like maybe here, and then can we put it right next to it? Or should we give it a little bit of space? So that one's going to go up that way. We'll reverse it. Oh, it doesn't like that. It's trying to snap to there. Okay, let's go a little bit further out then. Go like say from here, or you know what, the easier way would just be to do this, and then we just bring it into the floor. So here, and then we should be able to put one like right next to it, right? In theory, like that, and then we should be able to line that up right on top of it, nice and snug. Double lift. There you go. What do we think of that? That looks pretty snug. Now we need to get this around the corner. So like this. That's perfectly fine. No, it's not. Damn you, beam. So we'll get it to the beam. Like there, wherever the right height is, and then we'll get it in. There, little bit of clipping, it's okay. Don't panic, guys. It's just a tiny bit of clipping. This one's above the beam, so we can just do that if we wanted to. And then they're like offset separately. The alternative way to do this would be to put this here and then just do it directly onto the same level area, which kind of probably looks cleaner. Oh yeah, that looks much better. In fact, I might get rid of this beam. Look at that, beautiful. I like it. All right, let's do the same thing upstairs. So we need to take this into the ceiling now, and I'm pretty sure we can just take it straight into the ceiling here. So if we go floor hole there, and then straight into this floor hole, which is slightly in the wrong spot, we'll take the material up, because it's a single belt, right? It's a single belt of input. And then we'll get it into here. That's not right. And then we'll get that going up as well. That looks fine. It looks pretty clean for an assembler floor, doesn't it? Nice. And now we can go upstairs and then figure out where that needs to go. So once again, the input's coming from right there. So we'll try to replicate what it is that we've done. So let me try to replicate that exactly. So we did a thing here, and that goes into the floor like that. And then one goes right next to it. So we bring that down, we bring that, nope, we bring that up, and then we bring that in. Over onto this side, we do the same thing. So we need these stackable poles, just like that. With the stackable poles in, now we can get our belts there and there. And then we'll get it into the manifold. Nice and easy, guys. I like it. I like when the design all makes sense. And we don't need to send this, oh, we do need to send this upstairs, but we'll do that later. What we need to do now is do the subfloor. So where can we go into the subfloor from? We've got the subfloor holes here and here. So in theory, if I just delete one of these, we should be able to get into the subfloor. And we essentially need to link these two to these two. And it doesn't matter which way we link it. So let's just get some belt things going like that. And then we can get this one turning, say, this way. And then we'll get this one facing this way. And then in theory, we should just be able to get a straight belt here, however it likes to go. And then a straight belt here, however it likes to go. And then boom, done. Easy as pie. Now that should manifold its way upstairs to saturate the second level of assemblers. And all these assemblers have their outputs here. We'll deal with the outputs one day. We don't need to do it right now because I don't even know anything that uses casing or anything. But one day we'll figure it out when we need the casing and we need the sheets. But for now, we'll just leave it. Wait, something needs sheets, right? So we'll get the output done when we have output. So that's pretty much all linked up for input. Now we're in the floor, so we can go and actually get our aluminum and our copper. Let me get rid of this blueprint designer. Now over at our aluminum ingot factory, we need to get all the inputs linked together. So I think we need to reverse one of these manifolds. Let me figure out where I want the input ultimately coming out of. Probably, well, I guess since it's coming out of here, I guess this is where it's coming out of. Probably like it to come out of here. So I'll reverse this one. Delete that. And we'll put in a new manual one here. Get a merger, and we want to face it out this way this time. Get the mergers in, get all the belts back in. And now we can get it out the floor here. But first we need to bring this one over to this one. It doesn't like that. So we'll just bring it to the halfway point and then we'll bring it in. And now we've merged that one. So we need the input coming out here. So we can go through the ceiling here. And we'll chuck a hole here. Did I do that right? Nope. I think I shifted it last second. So we'll get that going in here like this. Why is this offset incorrectly? Is my ceiling just not the height? Or what's happening? What? Since when was this ceiling not the right height? Alright, we'll bring it down from the ceiling. There we go. And now it's not weird. Alright, great. So now we've got it from here. We need to bring the top ones down. This bottom stuff is all linked. So this is our final output to go into the subfloor. We don't need to sync any of this stuff, I don't think, because we're producing the exact amount that's being fully consumed. So we'll go up here and we need to bring this thing down, right? I'm just trying to think. That's where it is. So we just need to bring it straight down. Let me delete a subfloor and then get that going. We'll bring that there. Get that going down into there. And that should come straight out there. That's an input. So this is the one we need to reverse. So let's reverse this. Can you imagine if there was a simple quality of life feature they put in that just lets you turn the merges around? Oh, that would be amazing. Someone suggest this to the developers. Someone probably already has. Alright, so we'll get that turned like that. And we'll get that all in. There we go. All the belts are in. Now we can just get that going down like that. Then we can get this one. It should already be oriented the correct direction out this side. Get it to the halfway point. Get it in there. There we go. We have now created our full Mark 6 belt of aluminum. Have I filled in my subfloor? Or my floor? Don't want to leave holes in my factory. Now we can go into the subfloor and just link those belts up. So there it is. We've got to get it going out that way. And then we've got to pull the belt across here. And it's going to go through the rock, but I don't care about that. Stupid rock. Ruining my factory. This rock is going to be a monument. We're going to somehow turn this rock into a very cool monument. But look where it is. Right here. Fantastic. So we'll turn this one this way because I have a feeling the copper belt is going to be going somewhere there. Because our copper belt is definitely coming from here, right? I'm going to turn it this way and I'm going to connect it up to here. Doesn't really matter how I do this connection. Alright, there we go. Because the copper, I'm assuming the copper is going to come like this. Somewhere from this direction, right? So we'll figure that out. There's a big rock in my way over here, but that's fine. Alright, cool. That's one of our inputs done. Let's go have a look. Should be loading the aluminum into all of these things. Yep, there we go. We've got aluminum ingot. Now we just need copper ingot into all of them. Let's go check out what our copper situation is. Now, according to my notes, the copper situation is we have 1200 available. So what I'm going to do is change these notes a little bit. I'm going to change this to 0 and change this to 1200 because we know that these two levels are being used for the copper sheets. So we're going to go up to this level. I'm going to chuck some new signs in. There we go. Copy these settings. And now we know in here we've got copper sheets available. And we're outputting 1200 and we'll have 700 available once we use up 500 for the aluminum sheets. AL sheets. We should probably split this. The sheets use up 200 and the AL casing uses up 300. There we go. So now we know. Now we're going to merge these belts out and bring them out somewhere. We could bring them down into the subfloor here, which is probably a good idea. Because currently they're going straight through the subfloor, but to tunnel down the subfloor somewhere else is kind of annoying. So I'm just going to bring them out here somewhere. So we want the output to be here, which it is. And we'll tunnel it out here, I guess. So I'm going to delete this wall. And then we can delete this beam. And then we can do the same thing that we've done before, which is put a wall here, but it won't let me put it there. There we go. Get a conveyor wall. Get a conveyor wall here. Get a thing out that way. Then we can get our output to this conveyor wall. Like that. And there's our ingots coming out. So we need to reverse some manifolds again. So I'm not going to put you through the torture of me doing that. I'll delete the old manifold. And then we'll put in a brand new manifold facing the right direction. Bring it to the halfway point. Bring it around here. We've got to delete some of this stuff. But there's our first bit. And now we've got to link it from above. So we'll do the same thing as we did before. Put in a ceiling hole. Go into the ceiling, sort that out above here. Okay, maybe this ceiling hole needs to be moved a little bit out of the way so that this doesn't... I don't really care about this, but fine. It doesn't hurt me too much. Get that in there. Get that ceiling hole lined up. Get it up into the ceiling hole. Put our thing back in. And then we'll go upstairs to work on the next level. So this one's coming out there into here. So we'll just set that up. And this is the manifold we need to reverse now. So I'll go ahead and quickly do that. This thing's not even producing copper because there's no connection here. Same dealios, delete the old manifold, shove a new one in. Facing the right direction. Alright, new manifold is in, so we'll get it out to the halfway point, link it up to here, and we're done. Delete some of these poles that are in the way. Beautiful. Now that our two levels of copper are joined and out this wall, we can now bring this down to the floor. And that's going to go right here. Into the subfloor you go. Oh no, it's the wrong spot. Try again. Into the subfloor you go. Now, should we change this thing's belt thing? These are arrows. I like the arrows because it tells you the direction. I like it. So we'll leave it with arrows. So we can see these arrows are going up. These arrows are going down. That looks pretty cool. We don't need another light beam because we've got light beams over here. So there we go. We've got our belt of copper into the subfloor. Now we need to bring this copper all the way over to the other side of the world and into our factory. Now, since we only need 500 copper, there's a couple of ways we can do this. We can put a truck stop over here and do it by truck. That would be pretty cool, wouldn't it? We could literally put the truck stop right here. But then there's nowhere for it to do a U-turn. I think we'll just do it, keep it simple, we'll do it by belt. The thing is, the reason why I'm doing by belt is one day if we have to double our aluminum production, then we're going to need to double up on our copper, right? So might as well just do it by belt. Now there's a bunch of pipes here that has been put together really poorly by some terrible data engineer. So I'm going to work around these pipes. But to get it to an east-west direction, we want to go along the floor, right? Now we can just do it straight. No need to create kinks when we don't need kinks. But yeah, we're going to need a really long belt for this. Off you go, copper, to the other side of the world. In fact, it's so long, we're going to need to build a new foundation. Fine. We'll just slowly bring the belt until they meet one day. Alright, we're almost here. Let's figure out where the copper actually goes. All the way over here to the other side. So let's bring the belt this way then. Is there a clear sort of path? Yeah, there's kind of a clear path. So if we just follow this belt backwards, it should be okay. So what we can do is something like this. And then just follow this belt backwards and then bring it closer. Get it to this rock. Pass through the rock magically. Quantum physics, guys. Quantum tunneling. And then there's a nice clear path this way that we can use. Alright, I think we're close. So let's bring these two together and get them to join at some point. Path is here. So we need to go like 1, 2. We need to bring this up. Wow, that clips perfectly into it. Amazing. Alright, cool. Done. Our copper is now flowing. Let's go check in on our aluminum. It's going to take a while for the copper to finally flow in here, but it is starting to flow and our things are starting to go green. And until that saturates, we can't really tell what's happening. Fantastic. Let's figure out the manifold to bring these two together. So I want to bring this down and the output is over there. So let's bring this straight into the subfloor. Let me drill a hole in the ground and I'll link that up to somewhere in here. And then it might become apparent to us how I can merge these two belts together. I mean, I can always reverse the manifold, which is a bit annoying to do. Either that or stay with me here, guys. What we can do is bring it across here and then bring it down here, right? Yes, that's the input. But we'd have to offset it a little bit. Like, turn it. And then we bring it into the ceiling. Like that. Bring it down from the ceiling, apparently. And then connect that into here. Why is all of these not working? Have I done something wrong? No, it's just really, really slow. Why are these not working? Because they don't have aluminum ingot. Why don't you have aluminum ingot? Because I haven't done these belts. Oh man, my blueprint is missing belts. All right, we've got to fix that next before we put more assemblers down in the future. All right, that's looking good. Now the aluminum is flowing. We obviously got to fix that same thing upstairs. Always forgetting one little detail. But our little assembler blueprint is working pretty well. I'm pretty happy with it. There's the copper. The aluminum should be flowing. Aha, I've reversed the copper and the aluminum, but that shouldn't really matter. The aluminum is coming through slowly now, and the copper is flowing. Great, 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 great. Now, where is that coming out? So I did something in my subfloor. I need to link it, right? Over here. Now, this is going to intersect a little bit, but what are you going to do? So it's coming out here, and then it's going to go into here. And that should be the upstairs alclad aluminum coming down here, and then it's going to come through here, through the manifold, and all the output is going to go here into the subfloor, ready for usage. Now, this is probably going to require some sort of thinking or whatever, but we can do that later. Let me replace my floors so we don't have holes. But before we finish up, we got to do our casings as well, because that's our alclad aluminum sheets. We haven't done the casings yet. Now, because our casings is going to be done in 4 assemblers, we can actually just put it above here into a very, very small building. Let me put in my assemblers. We'll just build a little bespoke thing for this. So we'll do it here, similar to what we've done before. Where's our center point? It's like, this is our center point. We'll do like something like this. Our center point for the assembler should be around here. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, and 4. There we go. There's our assemblers for the casing. We'll just manually do something now. And now we can put a little wall around this, right? So we can do a full foundation wall or a half foundation wall. I think we'll just go with a full foundation wall. So we'll do these 2-meter blocks like this. And then we can do it as a square, right? Because it's all a square. I've left 1 tile of space over here for a diagonal turn. And I think that would look pretty sick. And there we go. We can do a diagonal turn along here. So we'll use our road barrier technique to do diagonals. We'll do a diagonal turn here. I like that. We'll put a little hexagon building over here. I'm going to do the rest. Now we've got a little hexagon core in the middle of our thing for our alclad aluminum casing. It should be just enough space, I think. Ooh, I don't know actually. Is that enough space for belts and stuff? It's gonna be a little bit tight, eh? No, it should be okay. It'll be a bit tight, kind of, but the way I'm gonna do this, it should be okay, I think. We'll have to see. Anyway, let's get rid of these road barriers now. All right, without the road barriers, now we can build up our wall. Now, our wall itself needs to be the same height. So it's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4... high. Does it need a subfloor? Probably doesn't need a subfloor because we're not going to be passing any more belt through here. But then again, one day if we need to pass through a second belt, we might need a subfloor. Let's just do it with a subfloor. It's fine. Not too much extra effort. So we need our 1-meter foundations out this way and a 1-meter foundation out this way. And now we can build the top level out. All right, that top level is built. We need to get rid of some of the parts that aren't part of it. So like here, so we can get the same corner turn in. Let's just do 1. It's going to put in 2-meter foundations over here. So we have something to snap to. Oh, can I have this point? Thank you. That one's a little bit annoying to do, eh? 1-meter foundation it is. Got to build it all the way up to get the right 1-meter foundations that we need. Do the same thing on this side. There we go. There's our roof. Now I'm going to repeat the process on all the other sides. And when that's done, I'll come and talk about it. Alright, admittedly, that was a little bit annoying to build, but it's done now. So let's figure out how we can fill this in. And we'll do this a little bit differently. What if we make our foundations between here pillars? So if we get like large concrete pillars, no, large metal pillars, we just put pillars up along here. Probably should do it from the floor level. So like here, I'm just going to do one corner first to test my theory if it looks nice. And here. And we'll just do one corner first. I've just done 2 on this side, but maybe I'll just do 1 on this side to give it like some variability. Now, we want to seal this with mostly glass and create like this really open factory style. But I just want to make sure I can actually seal it around this corner area without it looking too bad. So like here, oh, it hates that. I can, kind of. It would be a little bit weird. Let me just test. Very hard to build this. Firstly, we need the diagonal out here somewhere. Oh, I know what I can do. If we get a 4-meter foundation over here, we should have a snapping point for our diagonal window, right? Yeah. Then we can push like that. That's our window point. And is that sealed? That is sealed. That looks nice. Now we can do something similar on this side. Oh, well, we can just do it from here, right? Oh, and that just barely doesn't seal it. But I think it's close enough that we can just get away with it, right? What do we think? There's just like a little bit of a gap over here, which you can barely notice. I think I'm okay with that. That creates a nice open glass area over here. I mean, if we really wanted to seal this, we can just put a pillar here and then put a pillar here. And that kind of frames it a little bit better. Oh yeah, that looks nice. I like that. And then we can just keep this nice and open. Is this in the wrong spot? I feel like this is in the wrong spot, isn't it? That should be here. Like that. Yeah, I like this. I think I'm gonna finish it up like that, and then I'll be back to talk about it when it's done. And that is now done. It's the same thing on all 4 sides, and I just put in the walls to seal off the roof area, and I think that looks pretty cool. I might even leave the roof open for now. So the way this is gonna work in the future is that if I need to double this up, I'm gonna build these 2 levels on top of this, and then it'll kind of look very interesting because it'll be like these square blocks with this big center pillar in the middle. I think that'll look pretty sick. I think the only thing this thing needs is probably like a ring of light along the edge like this. So I'm just gonna shove that in, and then when that's done, I'll come and talk about it, I guess. I don't think that there's anything interesting to talk about. We're basically just gonna do something like this. Wait, why are these guys all offset weirdly? There we go. And that should fit in nicely here. Alright, all my signs are in. Just gotta paste the settings to make it glow. And there it is. We are done. I like this. What do you guys think of this? I think it looks pretty sick. Maybe we put in another thing of pillars over here to denote that this is the entranceway. These pillars are not the right thing. No, this one's in the wrong spot. We just fix that up, make sure everything's correct. There we go. All right, cool. Now we've got an entranceway, we've got pillars, we got everything. I think that building looks pretty sick. Nice open factory. You can see all the assemblers. It looks fantastic to me. This is a very cool little assembler building. Get that Criterion finish in the corners. And we'll leave that part open. We get Criterion finish underneath here. A little bit of Z fighting on here, but you can't really help that when you're doing turns and corners like 45 degrees. But yeah, I think that looks pretty sick. What do you guys think of this building? Alright, let's get this functional. I don't think you need to see me get this functional because it's just putting the belts and all that stuff. But I'll come back and talk about it when it's ready to be connected to the main system. Alright, that is done. Check it out. We have our 4 machines online now, and they should be making a crazy amount of aluminum casing, 112 each. So we should be getting a lot of aluminum casing out. Fantastic. They're all merged and ready to be sent somewhere. I don't know what I'm using aluminum casing for yet, so I'm not going to deal with it right now. But basically, we're going to send everything out into this parking lot over here, which we're going to then process and send to various factories to do further processing. Now, this is pretty much done. I think I want to do something with this top bit. Let me just try if I can put something in here. Can we do an up corner ramp anywhere here? What if I put a vertical down this side and then chuck the up corner there? Kind of doesn't sit well with this, does it? No, it doesn't look good. Kind of just want to seal this off, but I don't want to go through the pain of making a diagonal corner here. But I think diagonal cornering this off would look really nice. Maybe we can just put another one on top. I think we just need another one on top, that's all. chuck that on all the corners. It just looks a bit weird with the flat cornering. Now with this corner, we should be able to put up some sort of wall here. Maybe. Like just a little bit of skirting. What if we use a 2-meter foundation? Like this. And we'll just paint that in. Actually looks nice unpainted too. Give it a Caterium finish. And yeah, that just gives it a little bit of a better finish on that top level. That looks pretty good. Now I'm just wondering if we want to seal this roof or not, because we don't need to seal this roof. It can just be an open roof for now, because one day if we want to put something, I don't want to do anything super fancy on here, but maybe we should just seal it with something. What if we just make it a glass roof so that it just has something there? Does the glass interact with this nicely? Yeah, kind of. I'm okay with that. Just give it a nice seal, right? Like otherwise it just looks open for no reason. But we won't worry about that too much because, you know, we're going to one day add to this. I'm sure our singular belt of aluminum is not going to be sufficient, but at least we have a nice glass roof so it doesn't look like the machines are going to get rained on and destroyed. And yeah, I think that looks pretty nice. Maybe we can put a little bit of skirting on top of here so it's not so flat. Just do our basic 1-meter wall. Nothing complex. Just like that. Go all the way around. And then that just gives a little bit of geometry to the whole look. Look at that. Tiny little bit of skirting makes all the difference in the world. That's a very interesting looking building, don't you guys think? I like it. I like it a lot. Alright, let's put our signage in and then we'll call it a day. I'll put my signage on the front because that's where the road is. So this is sort of the front of my factory. So I'm going to put it here. Now this is making aluminum ingots. So let's put that sign. Which one is the aluminum ingot? That's that one, right? Yep. So we'll put our sign in and we'll say we're making 1200 aluminum ingot. Available is 0. And it's being used for AL sheet 600 and AL casing 600. Fantastic. Now we've got to do the same thing over on this factory so that we can see how much we're making. I guess this can be the front of our factory. Put a sign here. Great, it's upside down. We'll shove a sign in here. Let me just copy the style. Let me figure out how much of this we're making. This is going to be alclad aluminum sheet. And we're making 600 aluminum sheet, which is not bad. Not being used for anything right now. And then we'll go upstairs and we'll put a sign on here as well. And out here we're making 450 casing. It's like the casing icon. And we're done. Now we just need some lighting. I don't think the top thing needs lighting, just these ones need lighting. I'm not going to do anything too complicated for the lighting. I'm just going to put a big light strip down the middle here. We'll do something like this. And we'll face it this way because that's where our power is. This is just off the first tile. Fine. And that's a little bit far. So we'll go across a little bit. And I think that's pretty centered. So it's just off the first full tile, one tile off. And we'll center it. Very hard to line stuff up on this. Power that up, see how it looks. And that looks fantastic. All right. Do the same thing on the second floor. So just off the full tile, center it and put it one off. And then we can get power to it, however which way. Just like that. And now we've got lighting. Fantastic. That's pretty much everything that I've wanted to do for this episode. We've got all our aluminum products and we've created a new blueprint for assembler factories and it looks pretty crazy. I like how I've kept everything sort of basic for, say, smelting, a little bit fancier for constructing, and then we've got this really cool looking design for assembly. All right, we'll leave it at that for this episode. Next episode, we will continue to work on our power shards over there and somehow use that aluminum to help make those and figure out what else we need to make. But for now, we'll leave it here. If you've enjoyed, don't forget to leave a like and sub, and I'll see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching.